Well, the last couple of months have been a bit of a nail biter. For those of you who are new to this channel, we are just at the end of a 5-year building project here in southern Sweden, converting these old cow barns into a big recording studio, art centre, event space, concert space, food space. Just before Christmas, the council came to inspect our work and hopefully sign the project off, which they didn't. They instead gave us a big list, which I've been talking about over the last few videos. Last Thursday, they came to do their second inspection. We had done everything on their list. This video is going to be about what happened at the council inspection and what happens next. So please subscribe if you haven't already, and let's find out how it went. Well, the first thing I want to say is thank you to the council, to the guy who came, for being very fair. Everything felt really reasonable. I understand that even though in my mind this place is totally safe and you know, what could possibly go wrong, when it's a public building, which this is, you need to be really 100% sure, especially these days, that nothing can possibly go wrong that you can be blamed for, because that really could be the end, like properly the end. So as we went through, I felt over and again like, okay, I hadn't thought of it like that necessarily, but I totally get it. I understand that there's a reason why these rules have evolved. People might argue that some of them are excessive, but I guess realistically there must be precedents for all of these regulations which have led to these regulations coming into existence. So basically they were very happy with everything that we'd done. I think they were impressed with how quickly we'd done it. I think they were impressed with what a good job we'd done. I also realized that to get to the point where it is signed off and it's completely done to their satisfaction, there are always going to be like these last few little things. So I didn't really get my hopes up too high that that was going to be it last Thursday. I kind of expected there to be a few other things. And the very good news is that there are literally only a few other things, like really fairly minor things. The big one, which I'm going to talk about now, is to do with the hay loft, which is this space here, which used to be a loft where they used to keep hay, believe it or not. Currently a makeshift bodybuilding centre, courtesy of my son Vincent. The idea with this space is that this is going to be where we will have seminars, film screenings, exhibitions, yoga classes, whatever, like just a kind of multi-purpose space. The fire exit situation is that we have a fire exit here, which goes either out there or out through the studio down there. Once you're down these stairs, you can get out in numerous different ways, but it's this doorway over here, which we were always told was fine, because once you go through here, you can either go through those French doors there onto a big balcony, the roof terrace that we built, or you can go down these green stairs here, which are the original kind of barn stairs. So they're quite steep, but that goes down into the kitchen, and so there's a good way out there. The thing is that this doorway here is now considered to be too small, and because behind here are some of the old beams of the barn, I have been looking for a fair old while to figure out, can we just cut through that beam to make this door bigger, because the beam goes across the top of the door here. I think it's going to be fine just to cut through that beam, because I think that beam actually kind of it supports these big joists here. There's one here and there's one here, and they sit on that beam inside that wall, which holds up this floor up above to this room upstairs here. I think it's perfectly reasonable that I can add a little support inside here holding up this beam at this point here, and at this point here, and it won't make any difference whatsoever to this. I even spoke to the structural engineer the other day, and he agrees. So this week I will at some point enlarge this door. The only remaining issue is we need to make sure that escape from the balcony or escape down those green stairs is going to be considered enough for potentially a room of 30-40 people watching a film or watching a seminar or inspecting an exhibition which might be happening there. That's the current sort of question mark. How many people can we have using this hayloft? Ironically, if this wasn't a public space, if this was just a private space, we could legally have 100 people in here. We could have a huge party and it would be completely legal. It's only because it's a public area that we have to make sure that complete strangers don't get injured on our watch. Because I guess in the eyes of the law, your friends might be a bit more forgiving of you accidentally injuring them than strangers would be. Anyway, so that's kind of the big one. The other one, once again, had to do with wheelchairs, and it is that we need to make sure that the outdoor areas form a smooth pathway into the building, basically. So we need to build some pathways. As it stands right now, it is day 10 of the Siberian hurricane, which is currently sweeping over southern Sweden. So yeah, it's like, well, I think it's the equivalent of -11 outside right now. Everything's frozen, so we're not going to be building any pathways anytime soon. So we will have to wait a little bit for that. But the incredible bit of that meeting was that he said it would be fine for us to sign off the restaurant, the kitchen, the canteen, whatever you want to call it. This space here, with its mad Pompidou Centre ventilation system, we can apparently have this signed off next week. We obviously need to do a bit more work in here. This is going to be the stage area, the outdoor courtyard bar and stage area, and then across to the studio over there. So the upshot of it is that this week we will be signed off with the kitchen, and therefore we can get the alcohol license. The alcohol people are coming on Tuesday. They make their decision at the end of the month. So by the end of February, with a bit of luck, we will be legally allowed to do events in these areas. We won't be able to use the hayloft necessarily, although I'm fairly confident that we will be able to resolve that fire exit situation next week, because we have to be able to. So that's what I'm working towards, in which case the buildings at least will be signed off. The outdoor stuff, like the pathways and things, I think we're probably going to have to wait a month or so until the weather gets better, and then we can sort out the outdoor areas, get it all properly wheelchair accessible, and then we will have the project signed off. Which I also learned at the meeting on Thursday. You know, you get the project signed off, you start using it, and then you kind of then enter into a sort of a pact with the council that you are going to kind of keep your end of the bargain. You're going to keep the place safe. If at any time a member of the public complains to the council about something in your place, something that they felt wasn't safe or wasn't adequate, then you're going to have to deal with that again and go into dialogue with the council and sort those things out, and I guess you end up having to pay fines and things. So yeah, obviously the reality of this is starting to kind of expose itself. We are entering into the kind of second phase of this entire project. The building phase is now almost complete, and now we actually have to run this business, which is very exciting. And I'm looking forward to figuring out all the kind of protocols and systems that we need to kind of, implement in this place in order to get it to run efficiently, safely, and with maximum creative freedom and potential for people that come here. A heady mix. So yeah, I guess that's it. I guess we can kind of call this done. There's that last little hayloft question mark, but the fact that we will legally be able to open next week is that's quite a milestone. The other, obviously the other side of this is just because the council say it's finished, it clearly isn't finished inside. There's going to be a lot more kind of fitting out of these spaces. I mean, here I am in the lab. We need shelving on all of these walls. This is a sort of, it's still a kind of work in progress. But yeah, the idea that we can start to kind of officially use these spaces, because we haven't really been allowed to do that officially so far. Yeah, the fact that we can really kind of make ourselves at home here now is a very good feeling. So yeah, I think that's a good place to leave this video. I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who has helped so far with this. Yeah, it's very surreal to have got to this point. It's exciting. It's good that it's kind of it's February. The weather's pretty good today, even with the aforementioned hurricane. It's very sunny. It feels like this is going to be a great spring. As the flowers start coming up and everything starts to come back to life, so will this place. This feels like a good time of the year to be doing this kind of thing. We already have some events on the website, so if you would like to attend, then you can get tickets on our website. The studio is up and running. I had a very busy November, December recording, but yeah, we need to keep this studio going full steam ahead. So if you want to come and record here with me or with your own people, then head to the website and send us a message. All right, thanks again. Lots of love, and I will see you next week for another video. Until then, look after each other. All the best and goodbye.